My name's Mike McClelland, and I'm a Major League Fishing World Championship competitor. You know, it's really hard to believe that after 30 plus years of fishing that I'm sitting here in this room as a Major League Fishing World Championship competitor. I mean, it's one of those deals that you look back at how it all started, and it's pretty crazy. I mean, I don't remember the first time I actually went fishing, but I've seen pictures that my grandparents and my mom and dad had from when I was 2.5, 3 years old, you know, holding stringers of bluegill and crappie and trout and various things. So, I mean, I know that I started at a super early age. And as time went on, I was a competitive person, but you know, I was involved in sports, baseball, football, basketball, whatever I could be competitive at, that's what I wanted to do. And it finally started dawning on me, you know, I continued to fish, but it started dawning on me I really wasn't ever going to be big enough or probably good enough to be the best at one of those things. And I started seeing these tournaments go on. There was a lot of tournaments in Missouri where I lived on Table Rock Lake, and these big tournament circuits used to come to town, and my mom and dad for some reason had an interest in it. We'd go to the weigh-ins, and I was bass fishing. My uncle was a guide on Table Rock Lake, so I understood what was going on, but I really never realized that you could do something, you know, so competitive that I love to do as far as tournament fishing. So, you know, growing up there on Table Rock Lake, I mean, I spent all my weekends, summers at my aunt and uncle's resort. I fished as often as I possibly could. And as time went on, I mean, when I was 14, 15 years old, I bought, or I didn't buy, my grandfather actually gave me an old 14-foot aluminum V-bottom boat with a tiller drive motor on it, and that's what I started fishing out of. We put a foot control trolling motor on it, and mom or dad would take me to the lake and drop me in when I was too young to drive. And as bad as I hate to say it, I mean, when I was 14 in the backwoods of Missouri where I grew up on Table Rock, I'd just hook the boat up to the van and take myself to the lake a lot of times. And I just spent hours and hours doing it, and it dawned on me, you know, I can get really good at this. And I was just ate up with fishing as a whole. And when I turned 16, I mean, I had an old $1,800 truck that I bought from my uncle, and he had a bass boat that he didn't use a lot, and I asked him, you know, is there any way I could buy that boat from you? And he actually owner financed my first bass boat. It was a 16-footer with a 150 on it, and I started fishing local tournaments, just jackpot tournaments, and it wasn't long I was winning big bass. I might have won one or two of the jackpot tournaments, but I was competing on a really regular basis, you know, and I just continued to work at it and put everything I had into it. And like I said, I mean, I've been doing this now for 30 plus years. I mean, I'm 49 years old. And finally in 1992, I guess I had my first big break. I won the Central Pro-Am Championship on Table Rock Lake. It put a little money in my pocket. It allowed me to gain some sponsorship and start moving forward in the world of fishing. Then in 95, I finished second in that same Central Pro-Am Championship, and I win enough money, and I've kind of gotten more stable that I took that money and invested it into the Bassmaster Open tournaments. Lo and behold, the first two ever Bassmaster Open tournaments I entered, I won both of them back to back. And I'm sorry, but I thought I was the next Kevin Van Dam, the next Rick Clunn. I mean, I thought I was going to be the next hot commodity. And as most people know, fishing is a pretty humbling sport. In 2004, I just had one of those years that things started clicking. I won the Open Championship, qualified for my second Bassmaster Classic, went on to the Classic, had a good finish, and then things just started rolling from there. The Bassmaster Elite Series starts in 2005, and I win a Bassmaster Elite Series over the next 3 years straight. So 4 years running, I won an event each of those 4 years. And when you look at the world of fishing, I mean, that's a pretty big deal, because there's hundreds of anglers competing to win 15 or 20 tournaments a year if you fish everything you could possibly fish. So for me to have that number of wins so quickly was pretty cool. And then things slacked off a little bit again. You know, I'm now, you know, looking back, 2008 was a win, and then I went until 2014 before I won my next Bassmaster Elite Series event. And, you know, you keep thinking, is the day coming that this has got to come to an end? Well, just last week, Table Rock Lake, you know, the lake I grew up on, the lake I love to fish, I got my eighth Bassmaster win there at Table Rock Lake, and here I sat this week at the Major League Fishing World Championship. So, you know, fishing is one of those things that I don't care if you're 18 or 20 years old or 50 or 60 or 70 years old, it's something you can be competitive at and continue to do for the better part of your life.